All right. Anton Daniels versus Cory Holcomb. Before I give my honest opinion, I want to caveat something. Anton Daniels just reacted to one of my TikToks that went viral, right? And in the beginning, and him watching it, he was very complimentary. And then at the end, he was throwing shade. I want to say that my opinion is not based on Anton throwing shade at me at the end of his reaction to my video, but I do want to say karma's a bitch, because when you make your platform off of only reacting to other people and rage baiting people into your context of what you understand that fucking video or short or Snapchat or whatever it is, TikTok, whatever you may be reacting to, you know, and secondly, not standing on anything. When you don't stand on nothing, this where shit come in and it gets weird. Now, watching the Anton and Cory shit live and watching them go back and forth, I'm on the mindset of like, one person said Cory Holcomb should have went at Anton physically when Anton, and actually it was Marcellus Wiley. Marcellus Wiley basically said like, once you break the glass is broken. And Anton referring to Cory Holcomb as a dick sucker, sucking dick in any kind of way, was the glass being broken. And if Cory wasn't going to do nothing then, he wasn't going to do nothing later. That was Marcellus Wiley's take. I come from a different space where it's like, especially if we on camera, and I think Marcellus is not taking into consideration that Zoe and Aries Spears already fought on 5150. And I understand as a businessman having your own YouTube channel, you don't want that. You don't want your channel to be known as the fight channel, where fights gonna break out and people gonna get sued and people gonna get hurt and all that. So when Aries Spears got his ass whooped by Zoe, that really put Cory in a bad spot. You know what I'm saying? Though, all publicity is good publicity, it still put Cory in a bad spot and the whole 5150 team. So I understand where Cory's coming from, where it's like, all right, you said that. I'm explaining to you that as a man, I don't rock like that, but fuck nigga, say it again, and everything else gonna be out the window. And Anton didn't stand on it. He didn't say it again, nigga. He did not say it again. So as you get marked out, as a grown-ass man, you got marked, nigga. You should have left it there. But you came back to the internet and said you would have beat Cory's ass. You would have whooped Cory, all this, all that, after the fact. Instead of you telling that nigga to suck a dick again and then scrap that nigga and whoop that nigga and said, see, I said it again and I whooped that nigga. See, this where we come from. This where Cory come from. So I disagree with Marcellus Wiley in saying the glass was already broken. We don't come from that because that's an overreaction. What we saying is, nigga, I don't play like that. And your ass gonna learn right now I don't play like that in your face. And Anton learned right there and then in his face that Cory don't play like that. Right? So then, my boy, staying on your pivot TV, amazing YouTube channel, amazing YouTuber, I gotta disagree. He said, like kids is off limits. Look, man, I ain't even breaking my own personal issues into it, but one TikTok got me death threats, nigga, let alone being doxxed and all that shit. You see what I'm saying? So, nothing to do with me. I'm saying all is fair in love and war. That's the dumbest, simplest, stupidest way to put it. All is fair in love and war. And ain't no love lost between Cory and Anton, obviously. But if you finna get on the internet and talk about what you woulda, coulda, shoulda did, and all this other shit, you're dealing with a comedian. By trade, Corey Holcomb is a comedian. So if you thought that your best bet was to get on the internet after you got marked out on on national fucking 5150 TV, nigga, and then gonna say what you would have done to a nigga if a nigga would have done what a nigga would have done, when a nigga gave you the opportunity to do it all by standing on you saying he sucked dick. He gave you the opportunity to stand on that, and you did not. You did not, sir. You did not. Okay? Then the nigga come back and get at your daughter. Would I be hot if somebody got at my daughter? Of course, I'd be hot. But beef is beef and smoke is smoke, and everybody can get it on your side, nigga. The bitch got it that you was with. Your daughter got it. Your baby mama got it. Everybody caught the smoke because you did not let sleeping dogs lie. You did not even take your own approach and saying, you know what? Hey, man, that's another black brother, Cory Holcomb. I didn't want to be negative, and I see people saying I went up there with agenda to irritate Cory and to push his buttons. Hey, look, I apologize to Cory, to 5150, or not even an apology, but like even just saying, hey, that was that, man. I'm moving on my content. I appreciate Cory for having me on or not or whatever. However you wanted to word it, my guy. You know what you did? You went to the internet and said, I would have beat that nigga's ass. When you didn't stand on nothing. My guy, the gloves are off at that point. The gloves are off at that point. And you can't put them back on. Now he's like, yo, he's talking to Craig Facts, Craig, and Cory, you know, I don't want no smoke. Now he talking legal. I was advised. My nigga, that's some pussy ass shit. You gonna say, oh, my daughter caught a stray. You think that? Nigga, I got kids. That's why I don't engage in unfrivolous smoke with niggas. That's why I don't get into confrontations live on motherfucking internet and then come back and say what I shoulda woulda done later on. We all of age. I would not come back to the internet and say what I shoulda woulda done. That's what you did. You kept the smoke alive, and you threatened bodily harm by saying what you would have done to a nigga. When Cory sat in your lap. And that ain't gay. For anybody to be paused. No, nigga, ain't no pause. That man sat in your lap and said, say it again. And every grown man know what the fuck I'm saying. That man got up in your shit. In your breath distance. When two niggas talking and you can smell each other breath, that man got in your breath and said, say it again. And you did not. But you proceed to go to the internet and tell people what you woulda or would have done. 5150 shit, we all almost 50 or 5150, motherfucker. And I know that mean crazy, but I'm talking about age. So, when you're like, oh, I got to check on my daughter, oh, blah, blah, blah. I ain't going to say nothing. Let me be careful, because I'm a dad, and I won't promote it. I'll say that. What Cory did, I do not think was wrong, but I will not promote it. And you say, well, if you want to promote it, you won't think it's wrong, because I don't have a reason to cross that line with Anton, even though I feel like he threw me shade on the video when he reacted to my shit. I still don't think, I don't got no smoke with Anton like that where I would be egregious towards his children or his family. He ain't threatened bodily harm. He ain't say what he woulda, coulda, shoulda, woulda done to me. So for that, I would be crossing the line. You say, okay, Cory wasn't crossing the line? Well, you proceeded to say what you would have done, bodily harm, physically, and all this to that man. You kept the smoke alive. So all Cory did was turn up the heat on the smoke, or turn up the heat on the fire. Where there is smoke, There is fire, and Cory turned up the fire. Where there is smoke, there is fire. And Cory turned up the fire by bringing your ex-wife or wife and your kid into the situation. Not only that, he used your kid to talk about your sexual prowess as a man. I'll say it one more time. He used your kid and your love life and all the shit that you say out of your mouth, juxtapose that to your actual real life situation, and you question your manhood, question he questioned your wantability from women, however you want to word it, your prowess as a man. And he used your daughter to display your prowess. Do I agree with that? Yes. It's when there's smoke, there's complete fucking smoke. When y'all breath to breath arguing, that's smoke. And then you get out of that situation and you continue the smoke. You knew 5150s every Tuesday. You knew 5150 is every Tuesday. And you proceeded to respond before Cory. And knew the 5150 show was coming up. And you proceeded to say that you would whoop that man ass. You was going to whoop that man ass. You could have whooped that man ass. You should have whooped that man ass. And now we're here. So you want to talk legal jargon now, Anton. You want to talk, I was advised. What legal stance do you have? What I want to know. I desperately want to know, like, what legally is a lawyer going to try to conjure between you and another aggressive man, and that man basically doing the dozens with your daughter, making jokes on your daughter? Hey, Anton, I do want to say that the most egregious thing that you've done is none of this. Is none of this. The most egregious thing that you've done so far is refer to the situation as Cory going after underage children. Your wording and your attempt at gaslighting was weak as fuck. You didn't say Cory Holcomb went after my daughter. You didn't say specifically you said Cory Holcomb going after underage children to make a, excuse you? So you really refer to, you're really trying to refer to this man as a pedo. Because you're mucking what really happened. You're mucking up the situation now. Now you're trying to mix it all, going after underage children. He didn't go after underage children. He went after your underage daughter. And trying to play semantics and use words is a cowardly fucking thing to do. It's disgustingly cowardly, especially from a black man. And I think that's the thing that made me make this video when I seen you say that. That's why I'm here. When you said that, Brody, I'm like, what the underage children? No, he went after your daughter. Why would you word it that way? Why would you play Karen? Why would you play Karen all of a sudden? Who would do that? Stick to the script. He went after your daughter, your single child, which I wouldn't do because I don't have that level of smoke. But all is fair in love and war when there's that type of smoke and a nigga in your lap and tell you he'll do something to you. He with the smoke, and then you wait till you're out of the situation and say, I would have whooped his ass. All right, my guy. A nigga came after your male prowess and you folded twice. Then you laundry folded yourself by trying to say he's going after underage children. You know in this society what that mean. You know in this day and age what that mean. You know what the Epstein files mean, nigga. I put Epstein and file together, the Ep style. That was good. You know what the Epstein files is. You know what happened with Harvey Weinstein, Michael Jackson. They say, you know, I ain't gonna make no speculations. Paul Walker. Um, you know what that mean. And so your next thing was to go pedo language. When you're on the internet, you're on the internet. You have your own reaction videos. You react to a lot of content, TikTok content, YouTube content. You react to a lot of content, my guy. To word it that way. That's not becoming of a gentleman. That's not becoming of a man. And anybody that's gonna say, "Oh, you just mad Anton didn't agree with your video all the way." Actually, I'm not. Actually, I'm not. Because I know people that think the world of Anton. And for Anton to respond to my video, I got a lot of feedback from a lot of amazing people, a lot of dick riders, a lot of biters, a lot of people in general, just because it was Anton. So I know the impact of Anton Daniels on the internet. He has his own niche, his own pocket, and I'm not calling him a niche. I'm saying he has his own pocket of people just as I do. I just did 30K right now on YouTube. Go check it. I just did 30, and that's not to say I don't do 200,000 every time I go live. Just had 30,000 people watching me. I know what this is. I'm a YouTuber, a big dog YouTuber, may I add. I know what this is. But that verbiage threw me completely for a loop. I said, brother, was that man supposed to go after your daughter? That's up for debate. I say where there's smoke, there's fire. Let it be fire. But in a fatherly sense, no, Anton. Cory should not have brought up your daughter, posted a picture of your daughter, doxed your daughter, or anything like that. Now, as far as the chick, she put herself on the internet as an interview. So Cory just went to the internet and grabbed what was already there. But your children, not fair game. I have to say no. I would not. But again, when that smoke become fire and you're dealing with a comedian, but to go, he's going after underage children and verbally worded that way purposely. Like, my guy, I wouldn't have done that. I wouldn't have done that. I wouldn't. And not only that, like, are you trying to rage bait your own lawyers? Because in the court of law, if you're trying to sue Cory or whatever you're trying to do, whatever pussy shit you got going on, why didn't you stick to whatever, you know, if you would say harassment, inflammatory statements. I have no idea what you could sue Cory or take any kind of legal precedent over. I don't know. But you got lawyers that are fucking, far as the law goes, are eons smarter than myself. So I'm quite sure they can cook up something, right? I would have left it at that. And I actually would have left it at the 5150 situation, because that just gave you a whole nother audience. All publicity is good publicity, Anton. Again, all publicity is good publicity. But I have no idea why you would invoke the spirit of pedophilia, referring to another black man that only made fun of your daughter and made no sexual undertones or overtones. He picked at her looks. He picked at how, her, I guess her physique and her looks or whatever, which was called for in the line of any type of real fire, smoke. Uncalled for if you're just being a regular parent. But what really triggered me to make this video was that verbiage. That verbiage was so low and weird. You could have, again, 2 times you could have kept it P. 3 times you could have kept it P. When Cory said, say it again, or don't say that again about him sucking dick, you could have kept it P and said, hey, my brother, I won't say that again. And I think you did apologize, so I give you a half a point. But what could have really been P, a whole point, was you saying that shit again and knocking that nigga Cory the fuck out. And no nigga tell me what to say, and you sleep, bitch ass nigga. Wake up and tell me what to say again. That would have been P. Second time you could have kept it P is not coming to the internet saying what you shoulda, coulda, woulda did when you didn't do nothing. And you ain't say it again in Cory's face like he stood in your lap and say it to my face. You could have kept it P and said it to his face, 1. But 2, you could have just took the loss. Hey, nigga got aggressive in my face. I ain't say it again and move on. But no, you could have kept it P by not saying, oh, I would have did this. I would have did that. You wouldn't have, should have, fucking nutha did nothing, nigga. Third time you could have kept it P is not trying to refer to someone as a pedophile because you mad he dogged your daughter. That's where you really could have kept it P. Not pretending like this man like is a pedo because he had an opinion on the looks of your daughter and made fun of your daughter. Now, mind you, your verbiage about no kids out of wedlock and all that lines you up, right? Trying to, and I heard Cory say there's a lot of talking points that Anton don't talk to. I feel like that's Anton's business. That's how I feel. Cory trying to say, oh, he won't speak to white this and racial issues. But I respect where Cory coming from, watching Anton dodge around those type of conversations like, oh, I ain't talking about that. Or, all right, I ain't no man gonna tell me what to talk about. And Anton's, oh, shit. Ugh. Those rolling papers are fucked. Glad I don't smoke right now. Anyway. But that shoulda, coulda, woulda, that I just don't agree. I just feel like there was so many opportunities for you to keep it P. I feel like even when he came at your daughter, you went pedo. You ain't go like real nigga, like, oh, I'm gonna do something to this boy. You know what I mean? I'm gonna do something to this boy for talking about my daughter. You ain't offered a nigga a boxing match or nothing. You know what I'm saying? What you could have did. What you could have did. You ain't offered a nigga a fade. You ain't say, all right, we really got to have smoke now. Now, all of a sudden, the lawyers need to get involved. Right? And not to say that you got lawyers involved, because I don't know. But it's definitely what you're insinuating by your verbiage. Oh, I was advised, I was this. That's definitely what you're insinuating. It's definitely what you're insinuating, that you're trying to take legal actions against Cory Holcomb. That ain't P. Ain't nothing play about it. Ain't nothing real nigga about it. And for you try to use my verbiage and go, oh, well, real nigga, real P, you know, we all know what we saying. We can reword it however we want to reword it. We can use all intellectual terms. Your ass is still wrong. You're still wrong. You still look bogus as fuck. Trying to refer to someone with pedophilia terms. That's weak. That's weak. Your actions on the 5150 show was weak. You went to be antagonistic, didn't you? It didn't go your way. And Cory said, I was really trying to have a deep discussion with the brother. I was going back and forth till I realized what type of time he was on. Every person has that click in their brain when you see somebody trying to play on your head top. Oh, this is not a equally combative situation. This person trying to humiliate me. This person trying to play on my top. So then Cory got with the shenanigans like you already came with the shenanigans. I don't think this was a smart move by Anton. I don't think insinuating legal action was a smart move by Anton. I don't think insinuating a man sucking dick and not standing on that because he threatened you in your face was a smart move by Anton. I don't think watching your daughter get humiliated in front of hundreds of thousands of people and then insinuating legal action when you threaten bodily harm to somebody and acting like you was standing on something you weren't standing on in a nigga face. I don't think that was a good move by Anton. Now, Cory, I think you won. I think you got the 1v0 when Anton didn't stand on business. I think you got the 2v0 when Anton went to the internet and said what he shoulda, coulda, woulda done. To go after the man's daughter was genius. Was absolute fucking genius. And I think the reason why it hurts Anton more that Cory went after his daughter, because it literally speaks to your male prowess. Like Cory said, don't no bitch want to make no baby with you. That, I think, right there is the whole crux of everything. He constantly challenged your male prowess as and your fortitude as a man. And I think you should have bowed out, Anton. I think you should have bowed out when you didn't want to be physical with Cory over you saying he sucked dick. And thinking that you could say that to his face. I'm saying it to your face. And you weren't saying that to his face. You were saying a lot of shit that Cory did not construe as disrespect, but just your opinion. And you were saying it to his face. Calling a nigga a dick sucker, it didn't work out for you. It didn't work out for you, gang. Y'all know me. I'm the host that do the most. Fuck around, get your dumb ass smoked, make you hide that bitch, and pray to the Pope. This is the Subdivision. We are the TSD motherfucking gang.